Hello, it's so nice to have you.
Hi, glad to be here.
You have been chosen for our Senior Moments segment. Do you mind introducing yourself?
Name's Bree Hammond. I'm a senior.
You sure? Well, I have a couple of questions. I'm going to ask them to you, and you answer them to the best of your ability. You ready? Let's get started. Do you have any plans for after school?
I plan to go to Lincoln Land. I want to do ag with like a focus in horticulture.
What is ag?
Agriculture. With a focus in horticulture, which is plants.
I also like plants. Why?
Because they're cool.
You like plants? Do you have any plants?
Not currently.
Well, I have about 22 if you want some.
We're in the process of moving, and then we'll have plants.
I still have 23. What's some of the best classes you've taken this in your, well, not just this year, but your entire high school experience?
I like psychology, just because I like yapping with Mr. Simmons. We go back and forth. Just in a good way. He beatboxed over my stutter. He did do that.
I believe you.
I liked Illinois history. I like history classes.
Who was Illinois history with?
This was Mr. Hall. I liked the class and like the stuff we learned. I feel like it got a little boring sometimes because we were just doing notes mostly.
His voice is often considered quite calming too.
Yeah. It was right after lunch, so I was sleepy.
Oh, that was my what's that one class that you have to take?
Civics.
Yeah, that one. Thank you for knowing.
Art's pretty cool too.
How many art classes have you been in?
Last year and this year.
What class?
So last year I only did a semester, so I was in Art 1, and I'm in Art 1 again because I only did a semester. So.
Do you like that? Do you like the class enough to repeat it?
Yeah.
What is the best memory you have had in high school?
Probably the psychology class, goofing around.
Beatboxing over your stutter?
Yeah. I also really like Scholar Bowl. We do some goofy things, but also smart people stuff.
Very strange. You just frog blinked at me.
Yeah.
It's a very strange combination. Any of the worst memories? If you'd be willing to tell us any.
Well, I got sick during my freshman year, so I wasn't here for a good portion of the year. And then that also happened again my junior year. So that kind of goofed some things. But for the most part, it's been okay.
You've overcome it. What is something you would tell someone who's coming into high school?
It's not as bad as you think. It's honestly easier than middle school.
I do agree. Me and one of my friends were making a joke about that last hour, actually. You want to know what we were doing? We had a giant net, and we were throwing a ball at each other and trying to get the person to catch the net.
Real.
I think that can sum up.
That does in fact sum up what we do in high school.
Yes, it does. It's much less scarier than you could ever imagine.
You just throw a ball and try to land in the net.
It was Garrett. Garrett had the net for some of it. I had the ball for the rest of it. We figured out that I need glasses for my depth perception.
Yeah. I like PE. Very, very great at balance. I feel like that sums up what that comes out to.
Yeah. Would you like to tell us how you fell in PE too? Since we're talking about balance.
Doing everything. I'm very clumsy. I typically trip over my own feet. Occasionally somebody else's feet.
Just on a Tuesday every once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I did it today.
Good thing it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
You're off your schedule, I see. What classes would you like to take again?
Psychology.
Psychology.
I like PE. PE first semester this year, I would take again.
Now second semester?
No.
What happened? If you would like to disclose that.
some certain kids joined the class and now it's not fun anymore.
They know who they are, I'm guessing.
You know who you are because you're not gonna read this.
I hope they're not reading the video.
They're not gonna read this. I'll name drop after this.
Okay, I will be patiently awaiting that with my favorite mug in hand.
Don't be a Richard.
Are there any teachers who have helped you significantly more than other ones?
Davis was very helpful while I was going through with my stomach stuff. She would help make sure that I was understanding the material and passing the classes.
Mm-hmm.
Simmons was also good when it comes to presentations because staring at a computer for long times can hurt my head. So he would print out the presentations and I would write them down.
You got
which
the
was
concussion
helpful.
core.
Yeah. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
But Davis is the big one.
Got a lot of teachers who are willing to help you out. I know some of those teachers can definitely be hit or miss among the crowd. I've interviewed a majority of the seniors, and I know those two, they either come up as their favorites or their least favorites, and I've never seen an in between.
It's one or the other.
It's one or the other. Always will be, always has been. Is there anything you'll miss from high school?
Goofing off at Scholar Bowl.
You'll miss Scholar Bowl.
Yeah. It was very fun because, I mean, I know if we don't know a question, we just throw out something goofy and it's always funny. Jonah comes up with some good answers. He did Jorgen, Borgen, Schlorgen, Borgen. We did not get that one right.
Oh, can I ask what the question was?
Asking for a person. He did not get it right. Anytime Sarah gets the question of being asked for a person, she says John. Because 9 times out of 10, it's John. For me, if I get a question about Canada, my go-to answer is always Quebec. Never gotten it right.
Have you tried Toronto?
No, Quebec. I think I got it right once. Also, I'm really good at throwing out answers that I think are goofy and then proceeding to get it right.
Can I have one of those?
We had a question about a poet, and the answer was Frost. And I threw out Frost just because it's a funny name. It's just somebody to throw out. And got it right. I've also had some pretty major goofs. They asked what was the closest planet to the sun, and I answered Mars. I got the M's confused.
Did they think it was correct, or did they just
no,
question
they were
your
like
education?
incorrect, and I went.
Just questioning your education. I've never been in Scholar Bowl, but I heard it has been quite entertaining.
It's pretty goofy.
One of the only things I've ever heard about it was one time a kid who was in band, keep this in mind, was in band, was asked, what is the only two-sided reeded instrument? And any normal person, do you know the answer?
Isn't it an oboe?
It's an oboe. You want to know what she said? She said saxophone.
I think I remember
played
that.
The saxophone.
I remember that.
Yes. I
giggled profusely.
I felt the disappointment of 1,000 fathers.
I giggled profusely.
But
I
I
had some great disappointment sometimes with questions.
Besides Mars.
Yeah.
Are there any more you're willing to tell us?
I'll just go ahead and name drop. Ryder they asked for the question, when did the Civil War end? And Ryder answered 1960. Yeah, he knew what he meant, but he didn't get it. He slowly turned around after he did that and looked at me and went. I feel like I really enjoyed the Masonic tournament because I would have I was the captain, and I would have Jonah on my left and Dexter on my right, and they'd both be whispering in my ear the answers if they knew it. And it was usually, like, if they didn't know it, it was just goofy stuff. It was very enjoyable.
I think that has to be some of the funniest stuff. Two very funny, interesting people right there.
Two silly goofs.
Silly goofs?
Goofy goopers.
Is there
Guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes. Well, I'm gonna ask you one more question before I let you say your final goodbyes. Promise, it's nothing threatening. If you had a chance to talk to your younger self, what would you say?
Don't get ahead of yourself. Focus on one day at a time.
I think that's a very important thing and good thing to say. Well, is there anything that you'd like to leave off on here?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.